prediction series. We're moving on to the Chicago Bears, a team that I think in terms of overall might have a chance to be a top 5 team in Madden 20. At worst, top 10. Very talented, especially on the defensive side. They're going to be a very fun team to rebuild. I don't know how popular they're going to be rebuilt because they are so good, but you got to figure for the fact that most of their players are on the right side of 30. They're going to be very, very strong, and they're going to be very, very difficult to beat. And one of the teams that if you are selecting a team in the NFC, expect to see them and a perennial deep, be it NFC Championship, NFC Divisional Round opponent year after year after year. So looking at how I think their team might shape up in Madden 20, we're going to start at the quarterback spot with Mitchell Trubisky, Mr. Biscuit. We're going to give him a 79 overall, 3,200 passing yards last year, 24 touchdowns to 12 picks, as well as 400 rushing yards, 3 tutties. He is what he is. He's, inconsistent passer, underrated athlete. He's the kind of guy that fits the Bears' history at quarterback. I don't think he's ever going to develop into a world beater, but with Matt Nagy at the helm, he could be like your Goff type guy. He's going to be the kind of dude that can be as good as your coordinator. You know what I'm saying? Goff's only really as good as the play in schemes and setups that McVay has, which, is all well and good. I'm not even trying to... It is a negative, but it's not really a negative because isn't that ultimately the goal? Well, sure, everyone wants that franchise QB that can ball out and just make ridiculous plays. As long as you're good enough to execute what the coach wants you to do, you're going to be successful, and you're going to play a lot of games into January. And I think Trubisky can be that guy, and I feel like 79 is roughly where his rating should be come Madden 20. Looking in the backfield, no more Jordan Howard as he went to the Philadelphia Eagles. They have Tariq Cohen, who we're going to give an 86 overall last season, 1,200 yards from scrimmage, 8 total touchdowns, one of the more electrifying running backs in the game. I think he's actually going to be very, very overpowered in Madden 20. With how elusive he is, how difficult he is going to be tackle. The fact that Madden 20's mantra is to make the good players feel like they're really, really good. There's a couple overpowered traits that could be handed out to a player like Tariq Cohen, which is going to make him just an absolute game wrecker. So you'll be on the lookout for that. Beyond that, their big selection in the draft was David Montgomery at Iowa State. And while they did bring over Mike Davis, who had some inconsistent throughout his career, but wasn't too bad with the Seahawks. They got some running backs there. Now, are Davis or Montgomery better than Jordan Howard? No, but they got guys that are cheaper and fit Nagy's scheme a little bit better. But Tariq Cohen is going to be very, very OP in Madden 20. I'm calling it now. Jumping to the wide receivers, we're going to give Allen Robinson an 81 overall. I'm not going to lie, I really did like Allen Robinson. AR-15 is what we had, series ago in the Huskies back in Madden 18, so I was a big fan there. I liked him in Jacksonville. He just... I thought he would be a little bit more productive. I thought he was a big free agency signing for the Bears, and finishing with only 760 yards, 4 touchdowns wasn't anything special. Yes, Trubisky is somewhat limited as a passer, but I thought Robinson definitely underperformed, but he'll still get an 81. We have Taylor Gabriel. I'm going to give him a 79. He had 750 yards, 2 touchdowns. Anthony Miller out of Memphis. I'm going to give him a 78. Low-key, really good season for a rookie. 450 yards, but 7 touchdowns. So the chemistry is there with Trubisky. You're bringing in a jack-of-all-trades type weapon in Cordero Patterson, who's always pretty OP in the sim as well. And definitely watch out for Emmanuel Hall. Undrafted free agent, he's going to be a burner. Even though, for whatever reason, these rosters have 90 speed, he might have 93 or something in that territory. Tight end, we got Trey Burton, Philly special. I'm going to give him an 84. Last season, 570 yards, 6 total touchdowns. I'm always going to pull for Trey Burton. Hey, for those of you who remember, I've talked about this a couple times. Bears were my sleeper team last year. And, well, it was no holds barred when Philly took on the Bears in the playoffs. And we're not going to bring up that, what the result of that game was. But I like the Bears. I pull for the Bears as long as they're not playing my Eagles. And the same's going to be said. Because they got Trey Burton. I think I have a lot of players that I do enjoy watching. And you get Trey Burton, who is a Philly legend for the Philly special play in the Super Bowl. I'm always going to pull for him. And I'm obviously Gator made Florida. I loved him at Florida. So, he's getting 84. Plus, he deserves it. 84, he's a really, really nice tight end and a great fit for Matt Nagy's scheme. Offensive line, we have Leno, who got an 80, James Daniels, 78, Cody Whitehair, 82, Kyle Long, 81, and Bobby Massey, 77. Solid offensive line. Solid to good is how I'd probably grade the Chicago Bears OL. Defense is where they are very, very dominant. Akeem Hicks, we're going to give him a 90 overall. Breakout year last season, 7.5 sacks, 12 TFLs, 3 forced fumbles, one of the best 3-4 defensive ends, probably top 5, top 3 in the National Football League. So we're going to give him a 90, which I think is pretty fair. On the opposing side, Bilal Nichols, it's just depth. I think he had 4.5 sacks, which is actually pretty good for a rookie, and I think he'll emerge as a starter. It says it is because Bullard was a beast at Florida, but still a nice part of a rotation. Inside, you have Eddie Goldman. We're going to give him an 83 overall. Solid nose tackle. Grades out fairly well against Pro Football Focus. Can get a sack here and there and really decent against the run. Into the linebacking core, I think Khalil Mack will go back into the 99 club. You look at his stats last year, 12.5 sacks, 10 TFLs, 6 forced fumbles. Those aren't like godly numbers, but he did miss a couple games. And when he was on the field, man, it's just one of those guys. You got to watch the games. It goes beyond the box score. He was taking games over. He was wrecking havoc. I think he's without a doubt one of the biggest game changers in the National Football League. And, he's get, I think, good shot to get one of the 99 overalls, be a member of that club because he deserves to. In the inside, we gave Roquan Smith an 83 overall, 121 tackles, 5 pass breakups, 5 sacks, 8 TFLs. Him, along with Leighton Vander Esch and Darius Leonard, ushering in what might have been, like, in the last decade, the best linebacker draft class that we've seen. He's right at the top of there. Phenomenal athlete. Great user god. Danny Trevathan will get an 82. Really productive season as well. 102 tackles, 2 interceptions, 6 pass breakups, and 8 TFLs. If you need a middle linebacker, Nick Kwiatkowski, always really good value. Right outside linebacker, Leonard Floyd. He's kind of teetering between first round letdown. I don't think he's been a bust, but, he's not really reaching his potential yet. 4 sacks, 9 TFLs last year. Wasn't a bad year, but you definitely expect him to take his game to another level, and you're still kind of waiting if you're a Bears fan. We'll get a 78. Into the secondary, Kyle Fuller. I'm going to give him an 88, 7 interceptions, which was tied for first in the league. 21 pass breakups last season, so I definitely think he's a legitimate top 10 corner in the National Football League. Yeah, Prince Amukamara, he's getting an 81, graded out fairly well from Pro Football Focus. No more Bryce Callahan. He's moved on with Vic Fangio. I think that's going to be a big question for this defense in general. There is lots of talent, but in real life, how are they going to cope with no more Vic Fangio, who is definitely one of the best defensive play callers in the National Football League? Free safety, Clinton Dix. We give him a 79. I think he is slightly overrated. Still a solid player and actually a really good value pickup for the Bears because he has played at a high level with the Packers. But I think over the last 2-3 years or so, he has started to kind of fall off a little bit. I don't know. His name carries still a lot of weight. He's a solid safety, but I actually think in the base roster, he was like an 84, which is way too high. I think 79 is a good starting spot. The partner in crime, though, is really, really good. Eddie Jackson, I'm giving him a 91 overall. Last season, 6 interceptions, 15 pass breakups, and 51 tackles. I think that he is very, very good at that safety spot. Great fit. Again, another guy that, I want to see how much was it Vic Fangio was the perfect DC for this defense and maximizing all these guys' talent? Or is it really these guys are the Fullers, the Eddie Jacksons? They are really that good. It's going to be interesting to see if they can stand on their own without Fangio calling the plays. But for their base Madden 20 ratings, they should be very, very good. And Jackson getting a 91. Pinheiro, love him. Florida Gator kicker. I think they traded for the Raiders to bring him in. He's going to be a good one for you guys. You can nail him, especially over 50 yards. Pat O'Donnell, the combine warrior, actually until the Wisnowski punter from Utah broke the 40-yard dash. He's getting a 76. So there you go, guys. Those are my ratings for the Bears. I think they're going to be very, very, very good. Pretty much every starter's in the 80s. So in terms of depth across the board, one of the best rosters in the game. If you agree or disagree with any of the ratings you saw today, though, let me know in the comment section below. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.